Hey, what's up? This is Fish. Just gonna go through a setup for glacier climbing. Gonna do Mount Rainier in a few weeks, and this is my first attempt at Rainier. I've done a little bit of glacier travel before, but I'm definitely not an expert. But show you first the harness that I'm using. This is the Alpine bod harness. This one has the belay loop. I think is a newer one. And what I've done is just put a parabiner through that. And so the parabiner is one of the things I use that for is for the ice axe, and different people do different things with their ice axe, but I've put mine a rope on that to connect it to me so I never lose it, and I'm just gonna connect it right to that parabiner, and that way I always have it available to me. And so other people will have a wrist strap, but as you're walking, if you're going uphill, you always want your ice axe on your uphill side. And so when you make a cutback, then you want to be able to switch hands easily. And with the wrist loop, it's a little more difficult to do that, but it's a preference thing, and I'm still working out what I like more too. So the other thing that most people will have is what's called a personal anchor. So this one has already been weaved in, and so what you do is just do a girth hitch. You take it through your harness, both loops, and just pull a girth through it. And what a personal anchor is for basically if you're at any part where it's sketchy and there's exposure, you can hook this into an anchor. So an anchor could be your ice axe. You can find a good piece of snow and kick down your ice axe, and you can go ahead and hook your personal anchor to that so that you're not going anywhere if you fall. But a more secure anchor is going to be something like a snow picket, which you'll use, and also you'll bury into the snow, and then you can connect it to something like this. Again, just to anchor you and make sure you're safe if you fall. Generally, we'll be climbing with a chest harness on. This is the way I was trained. So what you do is just take a loop like this. I guess this one is about just up to my hip bone there, and you give it a twist while you put it on, throw it over the back, and you have a carabiner on here that you connect to, and this is going to serve for your chest prusik, which I'll show you. So generally, attached to your harness here, you're going to have your prusiks. And once you're hiking actually out on the glacier, you're going to connect your prusik. We have a pretty big loop like this because you'll tie a prusik knot, which I'll share a link or something to online. But this is going to be a foot prusik. So this will be attached to the rope that's attached to you and your partners. And the foot prusik will just usually go in a pocket. And if you ever need this, what it's for is if you were to fall into a crevasse, it's a way of being able to climb out on your own up the rope. So that Prusik knot is going to bite, and you can move it up, step up with your feet, move your chest Prusik up, and then step up with your feet again, and you're moving back and forth your chest and your feet to come up the rope. So I just wanted to show you the lengths on my foot Prusik. So I've tied a knot here, and I have a fisherman bend there, and then this is a figure 8 knot there. And essentially you would step through this if you ever needed it, and you tighten it up just by pulling on it. And I've put my knot just so it'll be perfect around my boot. So when you're actually in, and some of this is probably preference too, but when I'm in it, my length is about like this, just to maybe the belt line or so. The chest prusik, again, once you're out on the glacier, is going to be attached to the rope, and what it's going to do actually is going to come through your chest harness and down to this carabiner. And what that does is, if you were to ever fall, it's going to pull on this and on your chest, so it helps keep you upright. And again, so this is part of that Prusik system for climbing yourself out of a crevasse if you were to fall. So just a couple other things, you would carry a pulley on you, and this is in the case of, again, someone falling in a crevasse who can't climb themselves out. You can set up what's called a Z Pulley System, which uses a 3-to-1 mechanical advantage. You'd have 2 pulleys in this system, so you and another partner would have to set this up and in order to have that 3-to-1 mechanical leverage to pull someone out of a crevasse. Another thing you would have is what we call a double sling. So this one, by length for me, is just up to like my sternum here, and this is something that you can use. Where I've seen this used is if you do have to use that Z Pulley system, this would be connected to your snow picket. So you'd bury the snow picket, actually, in this case horizontally. It's what we call a dead man. It's a very secure anchor under the snow, 18 inches deep at least, and then digging a trench out of that hole, and you would connect some things to this as an anchor when you're setting up that Z Pulley system. There's going to be a lot of weight and force being pulled onto this. So there's obviously a lot of other things that go into climbing on glaciers, and a lot of things with rope management with your team on the hill. But as far as basic setup and what you need, this is kind of the fundamentals. So thanks for watching, and good luck out on the mountain. Cheers.